obviously CM Punk, suffered a tough loss tonight. I have to imagine that's it for him, but I mean, did you talk to him after the fight? And is that it for him as far as how many chances you're going to give him in the UFC?
Yeah. No, it should be a wrap. The guy's 39 years old. I love the guy. He's the nicest guy in the world. We gave him 2 shots, and he had a lot of heart tonight in this fight. And yeah, I think you should call it a wrap.
Question. I wonder if you had a medical update on him.
I don't. I didn't know he was transported till she just said that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you? You know how he is? No, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Hopefully he's okay. A lot of people got transported tonight.
No, absolutely. What do you think about the heart that he showed in the fight today?
No, he did, man. Listen, he got clipped a lot in that fight, and it looked like he was hurt bad a couple of times. He stayed in there. He went for 3 rounds. Michael Jackson, I'm not happy with. This guy was acting like a goofball tonight. You get this opportunity to come in and fight CM Punk, and you're doing like bolo punches to the body on top. Never looked like he was trying to finish the fight ever, right? Looked like he could have finished the fight a few times. Never tried. I don't know what that guy did for a living before we gave him the shot, but whatever it was, he needs to go back and do that again. He's 0-2 as far as I'm concerned.
Well, to that point, it seemed like he was trying to milk it to stay on TV longer. Did you get that sense?
I got the sense that he's a complete fucking idiot, and I couldn't wait for that fight to end, and I regretted not putting it on Fight Pass. Okay. That's how I felt about it.
All right, so some breaking news for you now. It was rumored earlier this week. We can confirm at this time that the UFC flyweight champion, Demetrious Johnson, will next put his belt on the line against Henry Cejudo. That is the co-headliner, UFC 227 at Staples Center in Los Angeles, California on August 4th. Very exciting news here, and for Henry Cejudo, that first matchup, Joe, was sort of over before it started. He's been chomping at the bit to get another crack at DJ, and on the strength of a 2-fight winning streak, Cejudo's getting that shot.
Well, he had the experience of getting to the top of the mountain, and not just the top of the mountain, the top of every mountain that's ever been around. That's the man. I mean, DJ is the man. In my opinion, he's the best that's ever done it. Yeah. I've never seen anybody with a more comprehensive skill set that's been able to take world-class fighters and make them look like they have no business in there with him. He is on another level. The thing about Cejudo, though, is Cejudo is a man obsessed. And he is the type of guy that will learn from that experience and not be humbled by it, but come back a far greater challenge in the rematch. When you look at how good he looked against Wilson Hayes, I mean, he looked like a karate master in that fight, which is crazy for an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. I mean, he's a real stud athlete and the kind of guy that becomes obsessed and will focus all of his life energy into getting better, and to the point where he feels like he can beat that man that's at the top of the mountain who he faced once before.
The thing about Henry Cejudo this time around, he's been much more vocal. I want the champ, trying to get underneath his skin, trying to make this a more emotional match than it was the first time around. That's a big difference.
Good luck with that, though.
Yeah. DJ's so good, he's going to try to look past it. But I think Henry Cejudo this time around is emotionally putting more on himself than he did last time.
Well,
I think
he'll have a better style. I think he's going to fight this fight in a way that he feels like he has more advantages. And it's just going to be interesting to see if he's figured out any solutions to the puzzle that is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter we've ever seen.
And to your point, his coaches would say he's 5 times the striker already than he was for that first Demetrius Johnson fight. So.
And I believe him. I mean, he's a freak.
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo is a mental freak. He's a physical freak. And he's the kind of guy that you need to experience someone like DJ. I mean, I think you could fight all the guys you want that are below him, and you think, well, hey, I'm a top contender. And then you get in there with Mighty Mouse, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what is happening here? I mean, he's so fast and so technical, and he knows so much about the sport, and he's so calm and collected in there, and he never gets tired.
2 X factors. Cejudo's faced him before, so at least he's seen it. He's been in there with him, and shoulder surgery recently for Demetrius Johnson. I'm sure he thinks he's all ready to go, but having that right before a fight can be tough.
That's a big factor.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard you speak about Nick Newell and the decision to finally give him a shot. Why did you decide ultimately to do that?
Well, Nick Newell came out and met with me too, and we met face to face, and you know, he told me how long he's been in the sport, who he trains with, what he's done, you know, and he's like, and if you don't believe in me and you don't think I'm good enough, then at least let me try the Contender Series. Yeah. So I said, fair enough. And it's not, the thing is with Nick Newell, it's like, I mean, how many of you honestly think that Nick Newell could fight in the UFC? Most of you? Do most of you think? Right. So most people think the guy's talented and he's beat some real guys, he trains with real guys. The big thing is, if anything ever happened to Nick Newell, okay? If Nick Newell fights in the UFC, the first thing they're going to say is, how could you let a guy with one arm fight in the UFC? You're an idiot. Me. Not you guys, me. I'll be the idiot. Yeah. But I'm saying, what if something bad happened? The big question would be, why aren't you guys supposed to be the best? All the best fighters in the world are in the UFC. So you're going to throw a guy with one arm fighting guys with 2 arms? You know what I'm saying. You guys know how to be negative. You know what I mean? You know the negative stuff will happen when if something bad happened. Might even be some of you that read it.
I feel like we saw an amazing fight, but I feel like I got screwed.
Right.
I feel like there's something missing here. Not that the decision couldn't possibly have gone to Robert Whittaker, but it's just like, that was the score. Like, no one gave Romero a 10-8.
Right.
That seems like
that
someone was
fifth round
doing wrong.
is when you say what's a 10-8.
Right.
I'd show him the 5th round of that fight and go, yeah, that's a 10-8. It was virtually a wipeout.
Well, I think the promotion would have some pause to give Yoel Romero another middleweight opportunity, having missed weight twice. He is also 0-2, at least in the record books, against the current champion. So to that end, we have...
Look, what you're saying about can he physically do it? Yes. It's the organization and us and Chicago and having faith that we're going to put you on that billboard and you're going to make it. Can he physically do it? Yes. But it's a big commitment by everybody else.
But let's also point out that he didn't miss the weight. They stopped him in the middle of making the weight. The commission here in Illinois decided he was cutting too much weight. Would they have done that in Vegas? I bet they wouldn't have. I bet in Vegas they would have let him make that weight. He would have made it. He would have got on the scale. And if we had better judges, we might have been looking at a draw, or we might have even been looking at a Romero decision.
Right. That's an important point, certainly,
Who
about
knows?
the weight. Absolutely. And
A lot of questions.
I think there's a lot of people in the public out there that probably thought Yoel Romero won that fight tonight. And I'm not going to get into the scoring particulars, but there's an argument for a damn 10-7 in one of those rounds.
There is.
Based upon the new language.
There's absolutely an argument for a draw, and the audience clearly booed when that decision was announced.